In a detailed yet clear and graphic way, this illustration entitled Reducing Lifestyle-Induced Metabolic Disease shows how unhealthy lifestyle can lead to chronic disease, and how profound therapeutic lifestyle changes may be in helping to reduce that disease. The illustration is divided down the center, with unhealthy lifestyle being depicted on the left, and healthy lifestyle being depicted on the right. We all recognize the components of an unhealthy lifestyle, unhealthy diet and habits, but very few people realize how serious the consequences of that unhealthy lifestyle are, that it leads to a condition known as lipotoxicity. Lipotoxicity goes beyond expanding the waistline. It's a state where excess fat is driven into important tissues, such as the liver or the pancreas or the heart, leading to very serious health consequences. Now, the initial influence of an unhealthy lifestyle is on the intestine. Here we see the intestine is filled with excess levels of fat and sugar and toxins, and they all combine to weaken the wall of the intestine and make it leaky. And here we see toxins leaking through that intestinal wall, getting into circulation. Those toxins then make their way to the tissues. And here we're looking at muscle, specifically a muscle cell. And here the toxin is attaching itself to that muscle cell and sending a specific message to the interior of the cell, telling the cell to increase an inflammatory response. In response to that message, the inflammatory signal affects the insulin and insulin receptor of the cell, and that reduces insulin signaling and the ability of sugar to enter into the cell so it can be burned as a source of fuel. Now, this whole process occurs through a biochemical language using enzymes known as kinases. These kinases can be modulated with very specific phytonutrients that help to modulate them in a way that improves health, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, the end result of this unhealthy state of insulin, let's say dyssignaling, is that the mitochondria are deprived of the sugar that they need to burn as a source of fuel. They can't make energy, so the person feels fatigue. They can't burn off excess calories, so the person begins to gain weight. Their metabolism begins to be reduced, and we have these side effects. And as a result of not being able to burn sugar, the blood sugar remains high. The sugar gets converted into fat, it combines with the high fat component of the diet, and the fat cells become overwhelmed because they literally can't store all the fat that they're called on to store. As a result, they break down, and the immune system may try to come to the rescue and engulf some of that fat, yet that makes things worse because that increases inflammation that starts this whole cycle all over again. But the fat has to go someplace, so where does it go? It goes into lean tissues like the muscle and produces lipotoxicity. This fat accumulation in the tissues is a very serious health challenge. Now, as we take a look at the healthy lifestyle, we know that that leads to healthy, vibrant physiologic function. Here we see a body that has no abdominal fat, no fat in the liver, no fat in the heart, compared to what we saw in that state of lipotoxicity. This is a much healthier body. Now, healthy lifestyle leads to that healthy body by first having a healthy influence on the intestine. Here we see normal levels of sugar and normal levels of fat in the intestine, dramatically reduced levels of toxins, and as a result, the wall of the intestine is strong and healthy. There's no leakiness going on. But here's a unique clinical pearl. There's a specific phytonutrient called a SKRM that can help to provide additional support to make that barrier mechanism very strong. So in addition to a healthy lifestyle, we can employ a specific nutrient support known as a SKRM that makes that wall of the intestine even stronger. Now, because of the improved state here of health, we have dramatically reduced toxins making their way to the muscle cells. There are a few, but not many. And because there are so few of them, you have significantly reduced signaling going on that would be causing inflammation. As a result, you have less influence on the insulin receptor, and you have a nice, strong insulin message. Now, to further enhance this healthy insulin signaling, we would want to modulate those kinase enzymes once again, and here's where SKRMs play a second role. We can employ SKRMs along with other vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and essential fatty acids, all in a medical food or other nutritional supplements. We can provide these components along with the SKRMs that modulate these enzymes, or reduce this kind of communication, and that enhances physiologic function. So our inflammatory signal is further reduced, our insulin message is even stronger than before, and that all results in better physiologic function. The sugar moves from the blood into the cell in a much higher rate. The mitochondria get the sugar they need as a source of fuel. You can see how much sugar is associated with the mitochondria here. It's burning the sugar, creating energy, eliminating the sugar from the blood, and as a result, fat cells are easily able to handle the store that the fat that they're called on to store because it's not in excess. And then obviously the immune system is not called to try to rescue the fat cells because there's no excess fat there. And the end result is that excess fat is eliminated from circulation, and certainly then it eliminates lipotoxicity, or the driving of the fat into the tissue. And this results in a much healthier body, higher levels of health and vitality and energy, and lean, healthy physiologic function. So all of the details associated with improving a person's health are outlined in the illustration, and we need to simply apply the healthy lifestyle with a healthy diet, the utilization of extra support coming from SKRMs, specific vitamins and minerals, and medical foods, and all of this will work well at helping us to enjoy higher levels of health and vitality.
Globally, millions of people are dying slow, painful, unnecessary deaths, and don't even know it. All due to chronic illness. With the help of Metagenics and their expertise in lifestyle medicine, doctors like me have been able to provide hope and education to our patients and give them back the health and the life they deserve. The following are real patients describing their struggles and victories with chronic illness. Here are their incredible stories.
About 2 years ago, my life was a lot different than it is now. I was very overweight. I was afraid to look in the mirror. I would get ready for work in the morning in the dark, put my makeup on in the semi-dark, so that I really didn't have to face how I looked.
Well, my life before I had the opportunity to work with Metagenics and get on their first-line therapy program, my weight was getting to be unmanageable. My cholesterol levels were high, and my overall health and fitness and just feeling good about myself and just feeling good was deteriorating.
My life from 2006 on was a nightmare. It was out of control, and not knowing what I had. Was it MS? Was it fibromyalgia? Was it rheumatoid arthritis? Was I going to be able to walk again? The uncertainty was horrible, and the drugs that they gave you to deal with the symptoms were scary. The side effects I had was unbearable.
The final straw for me was just feeling so unlike the person I wanted to be.
The host of symptoms that come with RA and fibromyalgia is so unpredictable.
It was really what you don't see. It's inside of you. It's your blood chemistry.
It's sad when you don't love yourself, when you look in the mirror.
You lose a lot of self-esteem. I lost my job.
My cholesterol was out of control.
When you avoid pictures because you don't want to see what you look like.
It was the fear of not knowing what was wrong with me and how much worse I was going to get.
I wanted that energy and zest for life to come back into me again.
You know, the whole inner part of you that keeps the motor running and keeps you alive and well was on a destined crash.
The final straw was just trying to live with the disease and the drugs they were giving me. I couldn't do both. I just couldn't.
I think during that time I lost the most important person, and that would be me.
I didn't look at it as a diet. I looked at it as a way to heal my body.
Well, the first positive change that I noticed after working with the First Line Therapy program was that my energy level increased, and I just felt so much better.
At first I thought, there's no way I can absolutely do this.
Some of the first positive changes were my energy level. I had energy for the full day.
But then also thought, there's no way I can't do this.
It's given me the ability to take control of my life and to get my life back on track.
What I really loved about the program was that I could go in and have the BIA test done, so I could see on paper results that were happening inside my body.
Prior to the Alter and Flamex Plus 360, I would spend a week trying to get over a little mistake with food. And now that I have the drink mix, it's my lifeline.
One of the things that we added was the Ultra Meal Plus 360, which is a medical food by Metagenics.
For 2 months, I had practiced the healthy lifestyle and the eating plan, and so as soon as school started in the fall, right away colleagues would say, "Oh my gosh, you've lost weight, you look great."
And for me, it was very valuable as it helped me lower my cholesterol.
Dr. Briggs is amazing. She's like no other doctor I have ever met.
I felt that she was a great doctor who listened, and she had some answers, and she had hope for me.
But working with Dr. Briggs and the First Line Therapy program has kind of given me a second lease on life. I've been able to make a positive impact on my blood chemistry.
The products that she uses, the Metagenics, the Alter and Flamex Plus 360, gives me some good days. It gives me days to be present with my family and my Molly, my granddaughter.
It's really been a real good thing for us.
Thank you for showing me a healthier way to live.
Thank you, Metagenics, for saving my life.